All right, internet. Today we are going to butcher a turkey. What's wrong with your chin?
It's sweaty.
Okay, it's a little warm out here. Fingernail, say shalom.
Shalom.
Fingernail, the bear, Hommy biscuits, and we're going to turn one of our broad-breasted, white, domesticated turkeys into dinner. Stand by for contact. All right, what is that?
22?
22 rifle.
Yep.
See, the people are going to ask. It doesn't matter, but it's a Ruger Model 1022 standard with a 3-9 scope on it. That's it. And it's been painted with a rattle can. By the way, northpointaxe.com. If you want a really awesome axe, they make really awesome axes. Thank you, brother. Bless you. Thank you so much for the axe. You're going to do the shooting.
Yep.
And then we have a butcher table set up right here. We've got a Mora, and who makes that knife?
Battle Horse Knives.
Battle Horse Knives. That is a freaking sweet knife. Yes.
Yes, very much
Confirmed.
so. Confirmed.
And then we've got a chopping block with an axe over here. So all we're really missing is a turkey. Oh, and we got our hot water in a cooler right here, ready to go. So we're gonna shoot the poor turkey in the dome, put him over here.
No, chop its head off.
Chop its head off, put him over here, and then Harmony and Scott
No, you're getting it wrong.
are gonna do the butchering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're getting it wrong.
Tell the people.
We shoot the turkey.
Okay.
We chop its head off.
Uh-huh.
We dunk it.
Yeah.
You missed the dunking part.
I was just showing them all the stuff
Okay.
that we have. Then we were gonna show them in order. But
Okay.
that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, so then we
Go
dunk
ahead, Rambo.
Then we dunk it, and then we're gonna pluck it, and then we'll.
Shoot it, chop it, dunk it, pluck it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Got it.
Got it. No. No. All right, we will show the people. So these are our turkeys. We have 9 of them. They are broad-breasted white turkeys. That's a girly turkey. That's a boy turkey right there, also known as a tom. And some of them are smart enough to get out of their little penned area, and some of them are not. And that's a chicken back there that is
She's a gender confused.
gender confused chicken. She's just happy to have the protection of the turkeys. So, are you taking a tom or a hen?
Tom.
You're taking a tom. There's a tom right there.
Yeah, I want this one.
Which one? On the right?
The big poofed out one.
Big poofed out one?
Yeah.
He's right there.
I know.
Okay. Remember, you're super close.
I know.
So, and you need a clear shot.
I know. Come on. Come on, honey. Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
1 shot, 2 kills.
I can probably just go in there and
12 shots, 1 kill.
dome it.
And for everybody who's squeamish and stuff, this turkey's about to die.
Don't look.
This is food, so don't watch if you don't want to see a turkey get domed, because that's what's about to happen, hopefully, assuming my wife gets a clear shot. Move, chicken, your collateral damage. You got him. Okay. Stand by. Okay. Here's Mr. Bird hanging up. He is 29 pounds before gutting and cleaning and the whole 9. 29 pounds. That's quite a bird. And he's got some wingspan on him. And FYI, just to everybody out there, these birds were always intended to be food, and that's precisely what they are. And we are thankful to our Creator to have them to eat, and that's what we're gonna do. That's how this homesteading thing works. So here we go. Shoot it, weigh it, chop it.
Did Jerry tell him how much it weighed?
Yeah, I told him 29 pounds. Chop it.
Chop it
And then dunk it.
and dunk it.
So now we're on to chop it, dunk it. Trust me? Of course. You ready?
Yep.
There you go. Hold on.
Such
Let's
a-
actually get the head off. Una más. There you go.
Headless turkey.
Into the water.
Hang on, let it bleed out for a minute.
We have now let the turkey hang for about 10 minutes. He's right back there. My wife is gloving up. We've done one chicken here.
Right.
I've done lots of chickens before. I don't like doing birds. What about you, Scott?
It's not my favorite.
Not your favorite.
No, sir.
I'd rather do a four-legged animal, a ruminant, for
Oh,
sure. For sure. But that's part of why we got the turkeys. We got the turkeys really because my wife has a poultry addiction. But also because I figure if we're going to be cleaning birds for meat, the fewer birds I have to clean to get the same amount of meat, the better. So we get a 29-pound bird here as compared to a 2.5 to 3-pound bird. So
Yeah.
10 to 1.
Clean it.
So, but the point that I'm trying to make here is I have cleaned birds before. You have not.
No. I watched a video on it though.
So you're going to be the one doing it.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to point out the concept of, well, when the world ends, I'm just gonna. Are you? Have you? Have you actually done it before? You and I were talking about this. Have you actually done it before? Right?
Right.
If you haven't done it, it doesn't count. And I'm not saying this to chastise y'all. I'm saying this to encourage you to go do the things.
Right.
Because if you haven't done them here, you don't actually know them here. So
You're
Go.
saying watching a YouTube video doesn't count as experience, right?
it's not training.
Okay. Okay.
It can be educational, but it's not training.
Right.
That is the difference. You can gain information from YouTube, but you gain knowledge from employing that information.
Which
Okay.
is what I did. I watched a video on butchering. This nice lady, she did it all by herself, where her husband cut the head off, but she did it all by herself. And so
Okay.
that's my hope, is I can do it.
Shoot, chop, shoot, weigh, chop, bleed, dunk.
Yep.
Now we're gonna dunk.
Time.
I'm gonna time lapse that.
Yeah, because
It'll be a while. All right, what are you doing?
Okay, so I don't know yet. Right
So,
now
I
I'm
don't
just
know yet.
rinsing.
He's mostly plucked.
Yeah.
98%, 99% plucked. And you're rinsing.
I'm just rinsing so I can see.
And you got this table for $60 where?
At Atwood's.
Atwoods. NorthPointAxe.com. I love how people are like, I hate it when channels get commercialized. I'm like, me and Adam from North Point Axe, he's nice to me, I'm nice to him. There's no commercialized. Yeah. All right, that's
Okay.
a big old chicken.
Turkey.
Chicken turkey.
Okay.
All right, you gonna butcher now?
Pause.
Tell the people what you're about to do.
Okay, so we're gonna start opening this thing up and getting it cleaned out. First, we're going to take the legs,
Uh-huh.
which there's supposed to be like a knuckle right in here somewhere. I think
Do you
right
want me
there.
to show you how I do it, or you just gonna do it?
I'm just gonna do it.
You just do it, babe.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna.
Do it up.
I think I got it.
Looks pretty good.
Hot damn.
Now, you be nice with that language on the internet. Saying things like damn and all that. That makes the folk get all uppity.
1 foot.
Einfutten. Zweifuten. I'm guessing Futten is German for foot. We're gonna go with it. Das Foot. Not to be confused with Das Boot, which is tremendous. Heck yeah.
2 feet.
2 feet.
Okay.
Okay.
So then, and this honestly might be the part I get queasy because
You've never zipped open an animal
I've never zipped open an animal before, but
and this what you're about to do is why I prefer to do ruminants, 4-legged grass eaters to birds.
Right.
Because I don't like the guts of birds.
Let's move this around so the guts come down into the.
You gonna turn them around? Turn that sucker around.
For easier.
Mm-hmm. Just like that. Just like that. So put your feet in the stirrups.
Right.
Breathe. Take a deep breath.
Okay. So here on the belly.
Here on the belly.
You can get a little pinch of skin.
Pinch them up.
Right there. And zip them. Go a little bit deeper.
You want the battle horse knife?
No. I just gotta, I don't wanna, you know, get into anything I'm not supposed to.
Nick the insides.
Because, you know, there's the bunghole.
There's the bunk. We call that the vent. I don't know. That's what bird people call it. Beautiful. Here, you need a sharper knife.
There, I got it.
You got it? So what you're doing is you're using your finger to lift the skin away from the internal organs.
Right.
So that you're not penetrating the internal organs with the blade.
Right.
And busting open gross things and making the meat tainted.
Because they've got, and you know, I think she used a pair of scissors for this part, which probably would work better.
Well,
you
here,
could just
hold on.
snip, snip.
Hold on, baby. Boy, do I know a guy.
He's bubbling out of his butt. That's gross.
He's got a bubble butt?
So, you just kind of snip down here because they've got basically they've got like a little triangle bone here that comes to the butthole.
Right.
And then you can just snip
all the way
around and just kind of remove the whole thing without, yeah, he's kind of stiffened up.
Watch.
Oh, look at you, smarty.
Okay. And you just use really light pressure with the knife and you let the integrity of the blade do the work. You don't want to, there you go. You don't want to push too hard with the knife because you'll make cuts in error. Watch out. There you go.
Okay, so yeah.
Now his hips are dislocated,
So now
but
you
I'm
can
pretty sure he didn't feel it. So,
really see and get in there. Got a little bit of skin here.
okay, tell the people what you're doing.
Okay, so got it all opened. Now we're reaching in and scooping.
Scooping.
And from what I learned on YouTube, you can basically, you run your hand along the underside of the rib cage.
Right.
And as you do that, you kind of pull and separate everything. And there's a couple of little cavities. You got to get the lungs and stuff like that out.
Okay.
So
Scoop away, my dear.
is it, Mama?
This is a turkey, baby.
Gonna have him for dinner. Oh.
And yeah, that's pretty much like she said.
Hey, come here. You want to sit next to Mr. Scott? No. You just want to hang out here? I love your shoes.
I don't have some shoes.
You don't have some shoes?
Not the best smelling thing ever.
You're loving it?
Yeah.
It smells really good.
Love it.
Love it? Because you know when the world ends, I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna. I'll be fine. I'm gonna hunt wild turkeys. Come here, you.
I just don't see it.
Here, come this way and see him. Come this way and see him. Yeah.
Oh, I got an itch on my back. Right there. Teamwork.
Okay.
Okay, so there it's innards, and we still have a few pieces of what I think are kidneys down in here, so we'll just do our best to kind of clean that out. There's like a little cavity down in there. Just scoop it with your finger.
Whoa, water pressure. Whoa, also water pressure.
Okay, so I think that's it on the back end.
Yep, top end.
Top end, back end.
No,
whatever.
now you go to the top end.
Oh, no, yeah.
And are you gonna skin him or keep him whole or cut him into pieces or what are you gonna do to him?
I think for this one, because we kind of learned a lesson, like we have a hot water spigot that we filled up the cooler and then we added a pot of like boiling water to that. So it was hot water heater, water plus a pot of boiling water, and it didn't quite open the quills up enough for them to come out completely clean. So I think this one we will end up skinning and possibly canning, and then we've learned our lesson for the next one that we need lots of pots of boiling water.
Good.
Okay, so we got the innards, the lower part cleaned out. Now we're gonna work on the neck part. So out here you can feel, and this is what I was just telling Scott, for best cleaning and grossness,
The least grossness.
You hold feed from your birds for a day, and that kind of gets their crop that they hold the feed in empty-ish, so that you're not pulling out as much grossness. So
However, we didn't do that.
So prepare yourselves. Did I get it? I think so.
Is that yummy?
No.
Not yummy.
So yeah, we got basically whole feed.
Whole feed. Yep.
Whole feed right here. So am I cutting through the crop?
No, you cut the crop open. You should not have cut the crop open. You should have cut to the crop.
Well, there was no...
Okay.
I didn't see any difference.
Move the tools. He was full. Homeboy was
Hence
full.
why you... Are we still like regular recording?
Yep.
Okay. Hence why you hold feed.
Homeboy was full. That's 2 pounds of feed.
Yeah.
So you're going to get the question, well, what kind of feed is that? This is just a general use feed. We feed the turkeys meat bird, but then this is also sweet feed, corn, and all stock pellets that we feed to pretty much all of our stock. We supplement the turkeys with that in addition to the meat bird. Frankly, the meat bird feed is exorbitantly expensive, and this stuff is not. But I'm really happy actually with the amount of fat that's on this bird, because turkey's, typically speaking, a lean bird, and I can see visible deposits of nice fat on the bird, which I'm going to attribute to the high fat in the meat bird feed, but also the sweet feed. So, sorry, I don't mean to jump in here, but
I didn't see it. I didn't mean to pull the crop or cut the crop.
well, that's okay. It's gonna happen, so at least it's
My first time.
That was done intentionally for YouTube, so they can see what it's like.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So, praise the Father for running water. Okay, so that's more or less cleaned out.
Okay.
More-
Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. You're learning. We're all learning. What did Brad from Big Family Homestead say? You need a teachable spirit.
Right.
He's right. So here is this is the crop lining here,
Gotcha.
and this is the skin.
Okay.
Okay, so what you would have done is peel this back,
Gotcha.
and then you'd have this sack here that is the crop.
That we
you
would have
would
just pulled out.
See this?
Yeah.
You sneak a finger in here, and
Okay.
you do have to separate it, but I want to show you that it can be separated. See, here it comes.
Relatively easy.
And then you would get in here,
A handful of
isolate the crop, and then take your knife. Here it comes. See, and here's the esophagus.
Right.
Okay. So you would get in here, isolate the crop. Okay. There it is. There it is. Perfect. And you let your fingers can do a lot of this too.
Right.
So you get right to this point, and then ideally the whole thing would come away, and it would contain
all
that stuff. Right. So
Okay.
that's okay. Making mistakes is good. That's how we learn.
Okay.
I'm gonna go feed our plants with this lovely blood.
Okay.
And you're rolling. You are live.
Okay. So I can proceed?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to get this cut. And then this is the trachea. Kind of a wormy thing. Kind of slippery. And we're just going to pull that out. That goes in there. And then finish cutting away. Around the neck. Okay. I got the neck cleaned off.
Okay.
I don't remember what she did with the, like, how she got the neck off. Did she just cut it? Or,
So trim away anything you don't want,
right?
which is going to be all that neck skin. Sorry, sir. Yeah, pull. A lot of, like even surgeons today, a lot of good surgeons are pulling with their hands
Right,
because it follows a natural line,
right.
even rather than cutting. It can be safer and more efficient than cutting because the way that the Father designed us, all these things, the way they lay together, you
They're all
can
kinda
separate them with,
connected. Yeah.
right, you can separate them real well with your fingers
Right.
and then make a cut rather than using your knife. Like when I do a sheep or a deer, I'm rarely using the knife until it's time to break down my primal cuts into finished cuts.
Right.
A lot of it's with my fingers. A lot of it's with my hands. So it's the same thing here. So pull away whatever you don't want. And then cut.
Do I just cut the neck off? I mean,
You can. The neck gets saved a lot of times for stock.
right, yeah, I want to save it,
Right.
but I don't
Take,
want it.
take that. So take your knife and run in between the
Those.
shoulder blades right there.
Okay.
This way. Oh, stop. This way.
Sideways. Okay.
Turn your knife vertically, and you're cutting the skin away from the neck.
Oh,
Keep going. Okay. Stop. Stop. Come underneath it with tension, lift up and cut at the same time. There you go. Do that again. Cut it right here. There you go.
okay. Got it.
All right, so now we got to weigh this guy
Right.
because
Okay.
he's meat now.
Okay.
So we need to see, we started at 29 pounds, a whole bird. Let's see what we got left.
He's still.
Okay, so he's 21 and a half pounds naked. You want to bring that here and show the people? So he's right between 21 and 22 pounds hanging naked. So that's a hell of a yield.
Yeah.
That's
About
a,
7 pounds.
and this was an 18-week-old bird, 4.5-month-old bird. We heard from the lady that we got him from that she let one go a year and it was 65 pounds hanging weight. So these are your typical broad-breasted white birds. They're what you get in the store. Your Tyson birds, honeysuckle white birds.
Right.
These are them. But this bird had a way better life than the Tyson bird ever did because it got to live on pasture and yeah. I'm very pleased. What about you, honey?
Yeah.
Yeah, 21 and a half pounds hanging weight. That's awesome for 4.5 months. And turkeys are super easy to keep.
But now we know they all need to go.
Yeah, we're reaching the point where we got to do the rest of them.
They all need butchered.
They all need butchered. Do you even curl turkeys, bro? Is it running? Okay, so here's the deal. There's lots of vertebrae in here.
Yeah.
So basically what you're gonna do is run your knife around the outside until you expose bone.
Right.
You don't cut the bone, you cut
pick a
between
bone.
the bone.
Right.
Go in between the
Do I want to
vertebrae.
go back here or up
Going back here would be very artful.
Right.
We're not artists.
Okay.
So
We don't care.
yeah, you just want the neck off so you can make stock with it. And another thing that you can do if you do cut all the way around is a lot of times you can just jerk it and snap it and twist and it'll pop off.
Gotcha. I got it.
You got it? Okay. So sorry. We gotta wash the rest of the sweet feet off of this tail end. We gotta wash the table too.
Okay.
So you can see the bone?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, before you perform that maneuver, set the knife down
Right.
because it's entirely possible that you poke yourself real good.
Okay. And then just
Yep.
back.
There you go. Now twist, twist. Okay, and now you can take your knife and usually I'll come up underneath, apply tension,
Right.
pull up, and just cut in between. Yep, exactly. See, it comes right apart. Cool.
Bam.
Bam. Now, do you wanna break them down further, skin them, or what?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
there's enough feathers and quills that he needs to be skinned.
Okay.
Yeah,
So skinning is easy.
But I think we need to do.
Yeah, we need a rinse for sure.
Yeah.
So here, I'm
And
gonna.
we gotta ice him too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
All right.
So, skinning.
Yep.
I don't know really what
Oh,
I'm doing.
you want me to show you? Okay, hold on. Skinning. Skinning is real easy, especially on an animal like this. These two fingers.
Right.
You're just gonna basically
Pull
lift,
and pull.
put your fingers in between the meat and the skin,
Right.
and pull away.
Okay.
And yeah, that's really it.
And then I got kind of
Or occasionally you'll find where it's sticking, and then you
Right.
just take your knife and just let your knife do the walking. Just let your knife do the walking. That's it. Watch out. Okay. Just the tip of the blade. Just gentle pressure. And I'm keeping everything under tension
right, as you.
as I do it. Yep. And then here, get to the wing. I want to go through the skin, but nothing else.
Right.
So by keeping it under tension and I'm literally just using this much of the knife. Just
Right.
that last
Just
3/4 of an inch. Just letting that kind of get in there and work.
Right.
Let the fingers pull the skin away from the flesh. Let the knife do what it was meant to do. It's kind of like dressing a toddler, but backwards and with a knife. I don't dress Aspen with a knife, but you know what I mean? It's like, because it's kind of slippery, you know, and it
Right.
doesn't necessarily want to cooperate, but if you're mindful about it and
Right.
persistent, you can get it done. So,
Okay. I didn't see what you did on the wing. You want to come do my wing?
yeah, give me one moment. So, get underneath here,
Right.
just like that.
Right.
Yep. There we go. Love it. Okay, so let's roll them over. Okay. Tip of the knife. Gesundheit. Tip of the knife. Just keeping it under tension, just letting the tip of the knife do the work.
I do that while you.
Here, if you want to get a finger right here.
There.
Yeah, watch out.
Yeah. Rough.
Yeah, that right there is a little rough. We need to get started on him. Hey, you better run chicken, you're next.
Okay. Too much jerking going on. cut them about here, actually. Is that full? Here, I'll cut it. This whole thing. Here.
Subcutaneous flesh. All right. What did you learn?
Wasn't as well for me. It wasn't as gross as I was anticipating. I wasn't sure if I was gonna hurl or if I was gonna be able to do it, and I did it. So
you did it.
I'm pretty proud.
Yeah, you did good. And I cut it up into pieces.
Yeah. Show me the next thing I learned. But I got the gist of it. And man, broad-breasted whites are like.
That's a big bird.
Yeah, we were just saying, we butchered our runt sheep that we had.
Yeah, that's one
and
breast. That's one breast.
18 pounds out of it.
Sorry.
And I guarantee you we got just about that out of this.
Easily.
And
easily.
That sheep was 2 years old versus 4.5 months old.
Now he was a runt.
He was a runt.
And he
so,
was violent, which is why he's in the freezer.
Right. But, that just, it kind of puts
things in perspective.
Right. Yeah. As far as, I was telling T, we've got some heritage breeds, some standard, or bourbon reds, and, or bourbon, yeah, bourbon reds. And, it might be worth saving one of the broad-breasted white hens to crossbreed with the bourbon red. Cool. And she can't sit on her own eggs because she'll get too fat, but I can always incubate. So
fingernail, what'd you learn?
That you don't just go to the grocery store and pick up meat. It has to start here. And it's a valuable skill. You're not always going to have the grocery stores or whatever to do this. So kind of reiterates on your thing, you have to swing your axe, do the things, not just watch videos, but, get your hands in rubber gloves and get all sweaty and messy.
Amen.
And blood on your shoes.
And we've been doing this for over an hour.
Yeah.
And we could, one thing I want to talk about, I'll come over here just for a minute. You're good. So here's the deal. You do need to do the things. You can do research and you can gain information on YouTube, but you have to turn that information to knowledge that you can do it with your hands. I'm proud of you for doing all this more or less by yourself. Because you've never done this before. I have, but still, you're always constantly learning. Have a teachable spirit. Actually do the things, because if you ever need to actually really do them for real, you need to know how to do it. Yep. The other thing is I have thanked the Father for hot and cold running water 5 times doing this. We've used 25 gallons of water to this point to butcher one bird. Yep. Between dunking it in hot water and rinsing with cold water, 25 gallons of water. So that's something to think about if you are homesteading, because you're using that knowledge and these skills and this infrastructure as a hedge against potential chaos. 25 gallons of water to butcher this bird. So that's all I got. Yep. You got anything else to add?
No. It was fun.
Was it easier or harder than you thought?
It took longer than I thought, but it was about as easy as I thought.
Okay.
There's a bit of a learning curve there. I feel like I could do it quicker the second go around. So.
And your knife, once your knife knows where to go, your knife just goes there.
Yeah.
It gets to where you're not thinking about it anymore. The knife just goes there.
Right.
Muscle memory.
Yeah,
Muscle
because at
memory,
first
yeah.
I'm like, am I doing the, am I cutting it right and all that? So now I know.
What about you? Easier or harder than you thought? Or expectation versus reality?
It wasn't more difficult than I thought. It's just there's a lot of steps and pieces and parts that,
Right.
you know,
You don't think about when
don't
you
do this until you've done this. And,
Right.
and it's just getting the pieces in order.
Right.
So,
Which you would learn by doing it,
right.
not watching
Yeah.
a video on it. Well, I do hope you guys watch this video. I hope we didn't gross any of y'all out, but this is where food comes from.
Right.
I have known
This is your Thanksgiving turkey.
the life of this thing since it was a week old.
Yeah. Yep.
And it died well, it lived well, and it's going to feed us well, and we praise the Father for it. That's
Yep.
all I got. So,
Amen.
hey, if you thought this was a youthful video, you should like, subscribe, comment, share, click the little bell icon, do all the things, and tell the YouTube algorithm that you're going to watch our stuff anyway, regardless of whether or not they like us. So that's what a turkey looks like after you disassemble it with a knife. Shalom and blessings, y'all.
Shalom.
Toodle.